What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Hope you guys are doing well. We have our poll up here. If you're just coming in, if you're just joining, take the poll, and then you like, share. If you're new here, you subscribe. And I listen. I'm not just flapping my gums. Make sure you guys like and share, please. Please. Goes a long ways to showing a little support to this independent channel. You know what else you can do? You can join our Discord, number one. Link is provided for you down below. And you can also check out Patreon. Patreon really helps us stay afloat. We're over 100. We're coming up on 110. Oh, hang on. 110. Oh, there it is. There's that beautiful sound. Total Patreon supporters. This is, by the way, not alcohol. Little Slaughterberry Liquid Death. It's iced tea. I don't like their water, their sparkling water, but their iced teas, they're very lightly. There's not a lot of sugar, and they're tasty. You know, once it hits the lips. Where are we at on the poll here? How are we doing? Thoughts on the 2025 Hog football recruiting so far? I really messed that up. It should have said something like thoughts on the 2025 class so far. But, you know, I was in a hurry, as always, right? So the leader right now is yikes, not good at 60%. Better than expected is in second place at 40%, and nobody has said great. I mean, you know, oh no, someone said great. Okay, that's probably an Ole Miss fan. I got this hangnail, y'all. Oh my gosh, that hurts. Yeah, do me a solid. Make sure you I appreciate the likes on Twitter, by the way. Philip White, I see you. Philip White, as always. He's loyal as ever can be. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to take care of that. Look at this, y'all. Look, hold on. Look what I just did to my finger. Can you see that? Look at that. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is going to hurt, and I can't do anything about it. All right, we're going to hang in there. We're going to get through the pain together. Shout out to, of course, Patreon, the current Patreon supporters. You guys help keep this ship afloat. But also, how about Insurance Max? Business, personal, life and health insurance, retirement. They shop the best rates for you. They cover all four corners of our glorious state. Sign up or call for free quote, and your name is put into a big bowl of names. Not a big bowl, but a bowl. It's the greatest bowl. And you get a shot at winning EA College Football 2.5 for free, man. I mean, I realize a lot of you have already reserved it, you know, but all I'm saying is that's not a bad deal. All you got to do is click and sign up for a free quote, and just like that, you're getting your name is entered in for a shot at winning EA College Football 2.5 for free, saving you a little bit of money. Direct service overhead, the Garage Door Company, same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. 501-244-3667 is the number to call to get a hold of them. They'll come out. They'll check your garage door for free. They'll tell you what's going on, and then they'll offer their services. And they're the best in the state. So, again, that's direct service overhead, the Garage Door Company. We got a few things to talk about today. I know we're supposed to advance Madden. Should I do that while I'm on the live stream? We've got 10 minutes. I'm supposed to move our week on Madden 2.4 for the Tusk Talk Online Dynasty. So I'm going to log in on Madden 2.4 here. Just really quick. And I will advance the league. So if any of you guys are in the league, I will be advancing it. If I forget, remind me. But at 6 p.m. So you got like 10 minutes. Hopefully you're playing your game this week. We had a lot of people not finish their week. And as the season goes on, that's something we're going to have to, what happened? Why can't I move my controller? What are you doing? What's it doing? There it goes. But as EA College Football 2.5, when we're playing that, because that's going to be an online Tusk Talk Dynasty, we're going to have that. My concern is as the season goes on and people start to lose, they're just not as invested. I don't know. I mean, we're going to set deadlines for people to play, but if you don't play your week, we may have to just free your spot up. If it's week after week where you're just not playing, maybe we're going to have to do some warnings. I don't know, but we're anticipating a lot of people to sign up. I got part of that hangnail off, but the other part's starting to bleed. Oh, dang, that's hurting, y'all. I'm hurting. Oh, it hurts so good. Listen, I'm losing. I'm getting my ass kicked on Madden 2.4. All right, I've yet to beat a user. I've yet to beat an actual player. So, and I'm still playing. Why, I don't know. Let's kick this off. Let's get into the first bit. I'm pretty sure your nail shouldn't look like that, bro. Yeah, I bent that sucker. And now it's like bleeding on the other side. I don't know what happened. Oh, man, this hurts. Let's start off with the visitors this weekend really quick. And that list, one guy they really want, they would love to grab, Trent Sellers. He's out of Mobile, Alabama, 3-star, considered a top 100 edge rusher in high school. He's got two crystal balls. I'm pretty sure they're both at Mississippi State. I don't know. I'll be real with you. I don't know a whole lot about him at the moment, just that he's going to be visiting. He is being recruited by Deke Adams and Scott Fountain. That's a pretty good combination when you're talking about recruiting. He's also got an offer from Nebraska and Ole Miss as well. He's out of Faith Academy High School, 6'5", 235 pounds. He's an edge rusher. Batten, current Razorback commit. He's going to be here. He'll be here. Kid out of Atlanta, Texas, 3-star. Jaden Shelton, who does have a crystal ball to Arkansas. Oh, no, he's committed. Didn't he commit? Yeah. He's committed. My bad. Yeah, he committed. Travis Williams was his lead recruiter. Arizona State, Auburn, Baylor, Kansas were some other offers. He's got a grand total. This is one of those guys. Jaden Shelton is a really good get for Arkansas. I know the star power isn't there. First off, he's out of that Dallas Fort Worth area, playing at South. The pain might be getting to me a little bit, guys. South Oak Cliff High, 6'1", about 205. He's a national top 8. I think he's ranked right inside the top 50 or right outside the top 50 among all linebackers. He's a top 100 player out of the state of Texas, according to 247 Composite. And again, his lead recruiter was Travis Williams. I mean, I think anytime you get a guy, just because you have a ton of offers doesn't always tell you everything, right? There's plenty of kids who had like 3 offers out of high school and they were 4-stars. You see that? That's not uncommon. Or they get like 6 offers and then they commit somewhere and then they just basically tell everyone that gets a hold of them, I'm not interested, so they don't accept offers. That's not uncommon either. But he's got 24 offers, according to 247. Again, this is all 2025. These names here that I'm reading off. Grayson Wilson is expected. I think he's supposed to be there right now. We know he's committed to Arkansas. A 4-star over on Rivals. We know he's at Conway this year. I'm told, go watch him play, Ty. Go watch him play. Go watch this dude in person. He's, we're not talking about like he's not one of these 6-foot kind of scrambling, maybe a 50-50 guy at the next level. He's legit, 6'3", maybe taller, 205, good arm. Enos was heavily involved. Petrino's heavily involved. Every OC during his recruiting process has been involved in his recruiting outside of, I don't know that Kendall actually, I don't remember when Arkansas formally offered him. I don't have that in front of me. I don't think Arkansas did. Maybe they did. Maybe Kendall did throw him an offer. I actually need to look that up. I can't remember, to be honest with you. But again, he is a part of the 2025 class. He committed April 15th. Is that right? Quarterback room's going to be, it's already, you just expect somebody every year to leave. Obviously this year it was Jacoby Criswell. you kind of wonder what happens in that room as the season goes on. But Grayson Wilson's going to be someone to keep an eye on. And I do believe he will be eligible, so he'll likely sign in December, assuming his, who knows. Listen, we still got so many bridges to cross before we get to December. First off, we got to know what the hell's going on with the head coaching position by December. Did Pittman do enough to keep his job? And what does that mean for Petrino? And what does that mean for the next guy? If they do go another direction, maybe Grayson doesn't like the offense or doesn't like the guy coming in and what kind of offense or whatever kind of system he runs. So we got a long ways to go. We first got to fight through the season. Another player, I think he's expected to visit. I could be wrong about this. Muez Tonkara, is that how you pronounce his last name? I think he was expected to commit to Wisconsin, offered by Kenny Guyton at Wisconsin, but Arkansas has an offer. Clear Springs High School to League City, Texas. He is on commit watch. He's announcing July 13th, and again, he is another 3-star. Someone in chat said we're 3-star you. I don't know what to tell you, but the truth just sometimes hurts. It hurts. I don't know what to tell you. So Jaden Shelton, Grayson Wilson, Evan Knowles going to be on campus. Reginald Vaughn, 6'3", 250. Yeah, Shelton, the 6'1", 200. Yeah, we already talked about him. Evan Knoll, the kicker. Reginald Vaughn, 6'3", 250-pound kid out of Mississippi. Muez Tonkar, I cannot pronounce the last name. Tonkara, I don't know, whatever. Tonkara, 6'4", 195 pounds. Another one, we already talked about Trent Seller, 6'5", 235 edge rusher out of Alabama. Timothy Merritt is another one. He's a lengthy corner, 6'2", 180 pounds. He's out of Alabama, Birmingham. But the one guy you need to circle for the weekend, and, we're going to have to wait and see how his recruiting pans out. We've mentioned him before, I'm pretty sure. I know I did with Patreon supporters. Warren's very own Antonio Jordan out of Warren, Arkansas. Ronnie Fouch, I'm just going to tell you right now, they're making this kid a priority. He is a 3-star. We're expecting a lot of movement, right? I mean, if we're going to sit here in our minds and think Petrino, Sam, they're going to make it. I'm just saying, for the sake of argument, I'm not saying that it's going to happen. But I would expect quite a bit of movement in the wide receiver room. You're going to have some guys that are no longer eligible. We'll see about again, we've got a lot of bridges to cross, whether some guys opt out or transfer out. We'll see what happens. Jordan is a guy, talking with someone not long ago about him, they think he's going to come in and push the 2 deep. Like he's capable. He's that capable. Now, there's also another discussion about where does he play? Does he get too big to play wide receiver? Because now it's being someone said he's closer to 220 pounds now. He's 6'4", about 215, somewhere between 215 and 220. I don't know, man. I mean, there's plenty of beefy wide receivers. Plenty of guys that are 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", that are 215, 220 pounds, play well with that weight. This dude's pretty athletic, and he's from Warren. And there's just something about Bobby Petrino having a Warren recruiting or his receiver coach, Fouch, going after a Warren player and trying to get him here on campus. You feel like it's automatic, right, being from Warren. I don't know. You've heard the Treylon Burke story, right? That almost didn't happen, him coming to Arkansas. So he plays basketball. He's been in track and field. As a junior, earned Arkansas Activities Association 4A All-State recognition. He had a breakout sophomore year, 43 catches, over 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, averaged over 24 yards per reception. So he is on campus. I don't think he has any more visits planned. I don't know. Who knows during the season. He has this was told, I was told this about 2 weeks ago that the Tennessee offer is legit. It's a committable offer. His recruiting kind of started to, it's catching a little bit of attention. Now, I think Arkansas, and again, I don't know, 247's reporting, I think just maybe 2 offers so far in 2024, or maybe just the one. But the belief is his recruiting, like he's going to get some more attention. They're interested. And again, it's Warren who's just responsible for putting out so much good talent. We all know about the Warren players, right? We know about the guy right now in the league. So anytime, and listen, that's not necessarily, it's not like automatic that he's going to go to the next level and be great. That's not why he's getting interest. I guess teams, scouts are starting to take a little bit of interest in Antonio Jordan. So again, Antonio Jordan out of Warren, Arkansas, part of the 2025 class. He's rated right now, according to the 247 composite, right inside the top 125, top 10 player in the state of Arkansas. I don't know, man. I like a receiver with some size. As long as he can move well, runs clean routes. There's not a lot out there on him. But I keep being told, just wait, man. His offers could rack up. And this also could be a situation where he commits. He may just tell everyone, I'm not interested in your offers. And he may not rack up many more commits or offers. Right now he's got 4 on the table: Florida State, South Carolina, Tennessee, Arkansas. Primed to have a good season this year down at Warren. Our poll right now, thoughts on the 2025 Hog football recruiting so far. Again, just your thoughts on the 25 class. 55% of you say yikes, not good, better than expected at 33%. Great is in dead last, 12%. If a 3-star turns out to be any good, they will be poached. Ashton Wilson says, I'll take Jordan over Little Rock kids for a legit league in Arkansas. Well, yeah. Let's see here. Jordan 6'5". So JD27 says he's 6'5", huge hands, great speed, gotten tougher over the years, kid's athletic and smooth. I need to look at Warren's schedule. I wonder if they come up anywhere near this year, anywhere near Northwest Arkansas. That's someone I would really like to watch play. I feel like the boosters could change so much recruiting, but they have a guy that they want like Malzahn, so they probably won't get behind Pittman, sadly, but I know the season last year didn't help. So YouTube did something funny here. They made your font. They made the font on chat way more difficult to read. Your words look so tiny on my screen. Mike Lasezzo Eagle says, I think recruits are waiting to see how the season goes. We start winning, 4-stars start committing. 4-stars aren't going to commit when there's a chance the coach is going to change. Well, here's the problem with that, Mike. And again, I know you're ever the optimist. And I'm bonkers for thinking Arkansas is only going to win 5 games this year. But here's the problem with that. How much room do they have? How many high school players are they going to take? They currently have 13 commits. And I don't know how many more are on the way. I told you guys not that long ago in Patreon chat, June's going to be a very heavy month. And that right now, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total commits. I guess somewhere between, I think it's at 5 and 9. So they could add 2 more. Going to have a conversation with someone hopefully this weekend if I find time to get a little bit more information. I know there's some kids that are committing late June that they're interested in. There's still some July. There's going to be some July commits. But how much room do they have? I mean, let's not – and also how much room – what do they do with – let's say the magic number is 19 again. Or was it 18 last year, I think? 18, 19, whatever. How much room are they going to leave for the regular season? Set aside the transfer portal. Like, we know they're going to save room for the portal. I'm talking about during the season, is that maybe maybe that is their goal here. They're only going to take up to maybe 15 commits. They're going to leave these last 4 spots open for whoever's interested through the season on those kids that are kind of waiting to see what happens. But the problem is, because of the December early signing class, these players are pushed to commit soon, and you're seeing way more commits before the regular season starts than we have ever seen as long as I can remember. Now, they've always had, like, June. It's not like June is new. Like, this isn't new. Like, oh, wow, they're getting all these commits. This has changed that it's all in June. No, that's not really true. June has always been pretty heavy. What surprised me over the last couple of, I'd say the last 3 years, is that July had so much activity in terms of, when these kids announced and when they committed. Oh, it's 6:06, by the way. I got to move our week. Okay. All right, I'm advancing the week. Don't get mad at me if you didn't play. Hang on just a second. League schedule. Oh, there's so many people that didn't play. Yeah, we're going to have to start handing out, like, warnings and stuff. Like, there's so many people. I'm seeing the same names. They're not playing their games. On EA College Football, if you're taking up room or you took a team somebody wanted and you're not playing, we're just going to have to boot you out of the league if you do it enough times. Here we go. We're going to force advance. There we go. I have moved the week. I got to play. Tell me that's a CPU. God bless. I hope that's CPU. Won't matter. I'll lose anyways. Yeah, a lot of simmed games. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Whatever they choose to do with their recruiting strategy moving forward, if they're going to save room, I understand that. If they're going to press kids, hold on, wait, watch what Petrino does. And I do agree that there's probably a number of, especially on the offensive side of the ball, there's probably a number of kids that kind of want to wait to see what Petrino does. Year 2 back in the SEC, right? Last year at A&M, it's not like he, blew the lid off the place, but he did do pretty well. When you talk about points per game, it was up 11 points. Maybe that's what this is. Fair enough. But the problem is how much room, because from what I understand, they are willing to take up to several more spots before the end of July. So how much room does that really give them? And when we're sitting here talking about, well, they're going to wait on X amount of players or they're waiting on all these 4-stars, I'm going to tell you right now, the players that have been suggested and talked about, not all of them, in fact, very few of them are unanimous 4-stars. 3-star U is probably appropriate. I mean, it just is. Okay, everybody use caps now. Please don't. What's up, Big Ben? How you doing, man? Those 3-stars will be coached up. Let's see. Those 3-stars will be coached up. Then people will try backdoor Patrick. This isn't because the font is small. I think this is because the amount of alcoholic liquid libations you are drinking might be a lot. Because I'm having a hard time with your sentence or with your comment. Those 3-stars will be coached up. Then people will try and backdoor teams like Arkansas for them because big schools don't want players they have to coach up. Okay, I hear you. I get what you're saying. You're saying they're basically using Arkansas as a development. Arkansas is a development school. They're going to develop some player, and then someone's going to come along and take them. It's not like it's not like this hasn't been a place where Arkansas's had players. What's the word? Sniped? No. Abducted? Nope. Taken? The reality, this is from Ashton, there will be no surprise commits. That's a reality, not pessimism. We will get a handful of 3-stars, maybe 1 4-star. It will be a weak class period. Yeah, so at the end of the day, this is going to be lucky to be a top 50 class. I think that could be the case. That is a realistic possibility. Poached, that's the word. Thank you, Philip. That's the word. That is the reality. Arkansas may be lucky. And again, this goes back to what we have said, what we said back when they decided to keep Sam, when Hunter Yurchek came out and said, we're going to keep Sam. This is the consequences of those actions. Nobody's really buying that Arkansas, like I've said 100 times, it does kind of have the appearance of the Titanic. That's what it looks like right now. It looks like the Titanic. It's a sinking ship. The SS Pittman it's taking on water. Houston Nutt had 3-star classes, says Patrick Smith. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, Sam, I'm sorry. Houston, if we're going to compare Houston Nutt and Sam Pittman, Sam had one pretty solid year in 2021. I'm going to give him that. That was a good year. That was a really good team he put on the field. But no. Not in terms of development, not in terms of don't get me wrong, 04, 05 were horrible years. Losing to some teams they lost to in bowl games and yeah, I mean, just had no business losing, you know, and you think about the backfield he had with Darren McFadden, Peyton Hillis, Felix Jones. Felt like there should have been more, right? But it's not like they didn't win 18 games in 06, what was it, 06, 07. Really good, strong finish. But there's certainly some years in between there where Nutt just couldn't get it done, right? Pittman is yet to string together a whole lot of success. Not having near the offensive line success. You look at the amount of prospects that were 3-stars. You're not wrong. I mean, he definitely molded guys into future first, second, third round draft picks. That certainly happened. And he developed on another level. Pittman's just not anywhere near there. I'm sorry. I just got to disagree. I don't think you can compare the two. I think if you had me choose between, how old was Houston Nutt when he took the job? 45, 44? Is that right? And then when they hired Pittman, give me that Houston Nutt any day of the week. Any day of the week. Listening to his speeches too, man, makes me want to go put on the pads. Just incredible. I mean, he knew how to get the most out of his players, and he developed talent. He did a pretty good job. His product on the field didn't meet the standards we thought that it should have. I thought that the year after Malzahn left, I still felt like that was a team that should have won 9-10 games easy, and they didn't. If we can't even finish top 50, that must mean a shorter lease for Pittman, because then there's even less penalty for firing him. I still rock with Arkansas, even if let's see, I'm telling you, this font is a son of a bitch. I still rock with Arkansas. If I ever stop, I'm done with sports forever. Well, yeah, no one's telling you shouldn't, for sure. I would hope that you do. Continue to do so. So anyways, a lot of 3-stars, not a lot of 4-stars, definitely no 5-stars visiting. Don't expect any surprise 5-star commit. Arkansas's got a long ways to go. How about Omarion Robinson? We got an update on him via his Twitter. He is visiting Oklahoma from the 21st to the 23rd. This was not, I don't know that this was ever, I mean, it wasn't official as far as I know. It's the first time hearing of it. But he does have the bit of news here. He is on commit watch. He plans on committing somewhere on the 29th of this month. So 8 days away. Arkansas, Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma, Oregon, all on his short list. He's 6 foot, 170 pounds. He's a 247 4-star. His recruiting has just really exploded. This is a kid out of Parkview. Exploded. That sounds. Anyways, out of Little Rock. Once again, you already lost Kern. We had Mason Choate on. When was that? Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday. And he talked about what happened last year with a big-time prospect out of the state of Arkansas leaving to go to Mizzou. Here's another one. And you already had Kern, who was formally committed to Arkansas, decommitted only to commit to LSU. I've already told Patreon where I'm at with him on Omarion. I mean, I don't think it's any surprise. I think the odds of Arkansas getting Omarion are very slim. Now, yeah, I know everyone wants to bring up the NIL tie, this is that and this and blah, blah, blah about NIL. Listen, I don't know that even if NIL wasn't a thing that this guy would have Arkansas. I'm sure, listen, top 3, yes. Okay, maybe. But the odds are he's gonna end up at either LSU, Oklahoma, or Oregon. Georgia was in the mix. I think he visited them back was that in May? Maybe early June. Marcus Woodson is his recruiter. That's the only part of me that's like, maybe there's a chance. Marcus Woodson is his recruiter. And I can tell you that he is definitely someone they are – obviously they would love to bring this kid in. 247 composite, top 25 safety according to the composite, top 3 player in the state of Arkansas. And again, his lead recruiter is Marcus Woodson. He visited maybe he didn't visit Georgia. He visited LSU on May 31st and Oregon on June 14th. And he really liked his Oregon visit. There's no crystal balls in for him yet. Keep an eye on Omarion. But don't get your hopes up high. But again, his commit watch is on June 29th, according to 247. And I believe that is correct. Arkansas offered Robinson on March 1st of 2022, but Ole Miss and Memphis were his very first offers. They offered him on the same day, November 18th, back on 2021. There you have it. Kyle Rote says, lame duck coach, this recruiting season sucks. Megan Trimling says Omarion Robinson is not coming to Arkansas. Well, I mean, I'm just giving you my part. I'm not. If we let's see here. He had success this year. Watch the NIL magically appear, but I don't see it happening. Says Ashton. Let's go on to these latest commits we kind of missed out on. One of them happened right in the middle of the Mason Choate interview that I had on Wednesday. Caleb Bell, who committed on Wednesday, June 19th, 3-star. Keandre Johnson, June 16th, 3-star. JaQuinton Madison. Actually, I think Connor Howells was the composite 4-star who committed on June 14th. He is someone I do like a lot. This is a guy, if you're going to talk about this being a top-heavy recruiting class, Connor Howells is at that top. He's in that top 4 on my list. And JaQuinton Madison, who committed on June 16th. It is, again, it's shocking when you look at this list. And again, I've talked about Louisiana. I wish they would pick it up in Louisiana. Not a single commit out of the state of Louisiana. Right now you got Georgia. Let's see, 2 commits out of Georgia. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of Texas, which is expected. And then, Grayson Wilson, Quentin Murphy, both Arkansas kids. Wait, that can't be right. They only got 2 commits out of Arkansas? I was thinking 3. Yeah, Quentin Murphy and Grayson Wilson. Quentin Murphy, who's the athlete, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Blake Cherry out of Owasso, Oklahoma. Kamar Williams out of Florida. He's an interesting one. And I was in a group chat with some folks talking about him, and there's a belief that it might actually be hard to get him to sign in December. Now, that's not coming from anyone, not like someone I trust that's a recruiting whatever, that does recruiting or deals with recruiting. But he does. If you look at his offer list, Florida is involved. Auburn is involved. Florida State is involved. LSU has a commit. Or an offer, excuse me. Louisville has an offer. He has a ton of offers. I mean, a ton. Like everybody in the state of Florida. A&M has an offer on the table. This is according to Rivals. Kamar Williams, and I guess, and I hadn't thought about it when this was brought up in that chat, and they said, I don't know. He committed back on May 21st. I don't know if we're going to get him here. So, again, maybe that's a conversation that I need to have with somebody. But he has gone on multiple visits to Auburn, but that was last year. That was mid-last season. Since then, again, according to Rivals, and this may not be right, he's not been on any visits. What was 247 saying? That doesn't sound right. He's been on. You know what? Those drop-down ads can go to hell. I swear. Those drop-down ads, I hate them. With the page is loading, and then you think it's loaded. You go to click on what you want to click on, and that stupid-ass drop-down ad, you click on it. God. Okay. Kamar Williams. Yeah, 27 offers according to 247. He's been on another visit. There's no way that's right. That many offers, and he's been on one official visit. So that's a good sign. Okay, so he did go on an unofficial visit to Miami back on September. He went to a camp back in June a year ago at Florida State, which is, they do that. That's in his backyard. Of course, he's going to go camp. He went on an unofficial visit to Florida State also on March 4th. So it looks like since his commit to Arkansas, which was on May 21st. Yeah, and he was on a visit on the 15th. That's right. Yeah. So he has been on a visit to Arkansas, but other schools he has not visited. And he committed to Arkansas back on May 21st. That's a pretty strong. That's a good sign. Maybe they can pull him out of Florida. Love his size. According to Rivals, he is huge. They've got him at 6'4", 180 pounds. 247 has him at 6'1", 175. I'm telling you, all these different recruiting sites, they give you different numbers. Maybe one of them, one has him with like shoes on, cleats on, and one has him with cleats off. I don't know. But again, he has a ton of offers, and someone they need to hang on to, especially if they can't land any other. They can't land the in-state kid. There's a lot. There's still a lot of time left. But again, Grayson Wilson is still your only 4-star that is committed. 3-star U seems pretty appropriate. Keep an eye on Connor Howes, though, man. Like him a lot. I think he had a bunch of offers as well. Let's go back to the poll here. Thoughts on the 2025 recruiting class so far? 60% of you got, 61% of you say not good. 31% of you say better than expected. I want to know if you're saying great. I would really love to know I want to know why. Tell me why you click great, or was that an accident? Because right now that number's at 9%. I would love to know how you came to that vote. But listen, it is there. It is an option. But I would love to know why you picked great. Howes and Bell are two decent names. Yeah. Boss Hog says this could be a great recruiting if the coaches can develop the players, but I haven't seen a lot of development from the previous 2 seasons. Kyle Rote says, I'm just going to watch this next season to see how future coaching options look. We've kind of gone over some of those names, but yeah, there are some. I can't lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. There are going to be some games I watch because I'm curious if Pittman doesn't survive. I'm curious to see what they do. Rhett Lashley comes to mind at SMU. Greg Roberts says Matt Jones was a 3-star. Listen, some of you may not have been here, but I've used several players as an example. Yeah, Matt Jones, of course, that was way back when the online recruiting was in its infancy. I don't take recruiting really. It's hard to look at those numbers back then and take them real serious. Technology wasn't really caught up yet. You know, sometimes a lot of those rankings felt like those were just, I don't know, people only watching highlight films and then kind of going based off that. I don't know. But that was online recruiting in its infancy. You know, Matt Jones, what class was that? 01? I mean, my God, I was in high school. I was a senior in high school. But Matt Jones, you're right, probably was a 3-star. Jamal Anderson is the name I've used 100,000 times on this show, talking about you don't always judge a book by its cover. The stars don't always define the player. They don't. They're just simply it's a I don't know, a tool or mechanism, whatever, to just give you an idea on where those analysts are on those players. Now, if you're going to say that, you know, it's when people say that the stars don't matter, you're insane. I can't agree with that on any level, because you don't have to look that hard to see what kind of roster Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, you know, these teams, even Florida State a year ago, really good class, maybe not near that level of recruiting, but really good players up and down that roster. A lot of them former highly rated 4-stars and some 5-stars on that roster, if I remember right. So if that's your take, stars don't matter, then I'm sorry, I can't take you very seriously. However, if you say that your class full of 3-stars, they're all bums, you're wrong. They're not. That's not always the case. We've had plenty of players. By the way, Jamal Anderson, 2-star, I think he was a tight end out of high school. He was a first-round defensive end in the draft in, what was that, 06, 07, whatever. Right there, you remember Petrino? Yeah. So you can't always judge a book by its star power, right? You got to watch how it development is key, right? And sometimes guys just grow when they get on campus. They just grow. They get stronger, bigger, older, more experienced. You can't just judge a player by the amount of stars next to his name. However, you would then have to ask yourself, even with Nick Saban coaching you at Alabama, would a Alabama chock full of 3-stars the entire time Saban was there, or let's just say with Arkansas caliber recruiting in that time frame, would he have the success that he had? No, I don't think he would. I don't. I just don't. I think the talent is the difference maker. Some people may not agree with that, but again, I would ask you to compare recruiting classes, look at the playoffs, the teams that have made. Like, the only exceptions really have been Washington and TCU off the top of my head since we've been doing playoffs. Stars matter. Some people just put way too much stock into stars, and some people don't put enough. You know, so and it's also important not to overanalyze it too much. Let it play out. And you get these guys, you get these coaches, and Petrino's a really good example of this. You get these coaches that just know how to get guys in position to have success. And I think you see that a lot. You see these guys that are called system players, right? They're good in that system. You put them in another system, they're no good. Or they're just not up to what they were in another system. And then you just have these coordinators or these coaches that know how to get guys in the right position to make plays. And it's up to them to hold up their end of the bargain, right? Arkansas has had some great walk-ons. They have. They've had one of the greatest ever. So, again, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to fire away. Kyle wrote, says, only bright spot in my opinion is seeing how Petrino and Taylor and Green play. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. We got some transitioning over to basketball. Arkansas to play Illinois on November 28th on CBS. Arkansas men's basketball is reportedly set to play Illinois at a planned Thanksgiving event in Kansas City on November 28th on CBS. Illinois athletic director Josh Whitman confirmed the game during an annual meeting roundtable, according to reports Thursday. Whitman reportedly said the game will be televised on CBS following the network's NFL game that day between the Detroit Lions and Chicago Bears, which would put it around 3 p.m. This is the fourth non-conference game reported for the Razorbacks. They are also set to play Miami in the ACC SEC Challenge on December 3rd, Michigan on December 10th at Madison Square Garden, and a guarantee game against Oakland on December 30th inside Bud Walton Arena. Only the Miami game has been officially announced by Arkansas. Also, Arkansas versus UCA. Sounds like that's going to be a thing. Arkansas men's basketball will reportedly face Central Arkansas in North Little Rock this upcoming season. A date to be announced. John Rothstein of CBS Sports reports. So there you have it. Arkansas basketball taking on some. I love this. If this all gets confirmed by the U of A, I like these. You know, I wish they had gotten Louisville, and I agree with Blake Lovell. That feels like a missed opportunity, not playing Louisville. That just felt right. But it is what it is. They're going to play Miami. They're playing at Madison Square Garden against Michigan on December 10th. And I like the Illinois, you know. I like that. I like that that sounds like it's going to be a done deal, assuming Josh Whitman isn't full of it, right? And you expected them to play an in-state school. That's not surprising. And here's the other thing. I know I get a little bit of pushback from the Central Arkansas folks when I talk about playing down Little Rock. Guys, I like that they play in Little Rock. I at least don't have a problem with it. I might joke around and say, get the hell out of Little Rock, you know, stop playing games there. I'm talking football, and maybe there's been a couple of games down in Little Rock that I felt like they should have been in Fayetteville. But I really don't have a problem with playing that game there. And I don't mind them playing the BOK in Tulsa, but I'd rather Oklahoma. That should be a home-and-home game, or should have been a home-and-home. It's stupid that it wasn't. It just ticks me off that Arkansas couldn't have more success against Oklahoma. Arkansas, especially with Musselman here, just a far better program in terms of their reach in March until this most recent season. Just tears me up inside. Should have beaten them more. Jamal Anderson was a 2-star wide receiver, says Richard Miller. Whatever, Richard. I'm just saying. He wasn't. Nobody thought that dude was going to be a future first-round draft pick, especially a future first-round draft pick at the defensive end spot. He was massive. I thought he would have a better – he was he was a big dude. He was a big defensive end. I thought he'd have a better pro career. 3 stars don't cut it for me. Can't settle for that, Swaggy. I mean, listen, man. You're going to sign a few 3 stars, okay? Unfortunately, lately, you're just signing a hell of a lot more of them. It just is what it is. What's the drink of choice tonight? Well, I mentioned it earlier. If you're talking to me, Pigpen, it's Liquid Death Slaughterberry. Their iced tea. Get a good shot of that. It's not bad. It's really not bad. Low sugar, like really low sugar. Little hint of flavor there. It's not overbearing, right? Let's close out this poll here really quick. If you haven't taken the poll, go ahead and do it really quick. 3, 2. Well, we're not synced up. So by the time I end this poll, there we go. We're ending it. There we go. 62%. Yikes, not good. That's your thoughts so far in the 2025 class. I agree, and I think it's fair to say we should wait. That's fine, but I'm telling you, there's not. It's not like they're hiding these 4 stars. There's not as many as you think that are just sitting around waiting on Arkansas to be better. Okay, they're going to start running out of options when you're talking about higher profile players. They're running out of options. They're not all just sitting around. I'm not saying they won't sign any more. I certainly thought back in May they were going to get a couple more, and a lot's changed. And I think that it's a combination of, it probably is NIL involved. I don't think they're flat broke like people will have you believe. I think it's also just a lack of trust. Like no one, again, the view from afar is that this is a sinking ship and that Pittman won't last. Again, as we've mentioned before, it's on Pittman to change the narrative. Listen, it would go a long ways if Arkansas went on the road and beat Oklahoma State. Holy crap. That changes the narrative entirely. That game by itself, because Oklahoma State will be ranked. Listen, you catch them early in the year. Oklahoma State has lost some games they have no business losing. Don't get me wrong. Oklahoma State is one of those teams. If they were in a stronger conference, they wouldn't be a ranked team. They wouldn't have this reputation of being a team ranked every year because they wouldn't be ranked every year. Look at the roster. Not a lot of talent, not a lot of star power, but Gundy gets the most out of his guys, and he's got a great offense. Gundy's a quality coach. I would definitely love to have him here at Arkansas for sure. He's had kids go to the U of A. There's a little bit of a connection there. I always thought this matchup between Arkansas and Oklahoma State would happen sooner, considering how long he's been there, some of the connections he has to the U of A, at least with his kids going to school here and whatnot. Really thought this would happen sooner, but that game it's going to be aired on ABC, 11 a.m. Imagine the narrative change if you beat Oklahoma State on the road, 11 o'clock. That's the game that everyone's talking about the rest of the day if that upset were to happen. Again, Oklahoma State, put them in the league, put them in the SEC this year. That's a, 8-4, 7-5 caliber team. Like, I don't think they're an elite team. They could win really well in the Big 12. They could do really well in the Big 12, but the Big 12 is garbage. It's garbage. But they are better right now. They are currently on another level compared to Arkansas. So if Arkansas could find a way to beat them in Stillwater, 11 a.m., apparently on ABC, oh my God. You talk about changing the narrative up a little bit. Yeah, and then you got UAB after that. Imagine going 3-0 on the road to Auburn, Alabama for a 2:30 or 7 p.m. kickoff, depending. Right now it's a flex. And then you got A&M, a game I think could be within reach, maybe. I'm just saying. I feel like 2026 is a really good class. Yeah, maybe. Hey, again, shout out to Patreon supporters. If you guys want to continue to support this channel, please consider signing up for Patreon. It goes a long ways. Shout out to Insurance Max, one of the show sponsors. Business, personal, life and health, retirement. We shop the best rates for you. They cover all 4 corners of the state of Arkansas. Right now, sign up or call for a free quote. You get a shot at winning a free copy of EA College Football 25. Again, that's Insurance Max covering the state of Arkansas. Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. That's our other sponsor. Hundreds of 5-star reviews, better than best results, quality parts, free estimates. Just give them a call. Direct Service Overhead, they've got your back. Just give them a call. What are you saying here? If Pittman had 10 to 15 million, would that make a difference? Have you lost faith in Sam? I mean, we know these kids are chasing the bag. I mean, I don't know. And I'm not going to tell you that all of them, that's their number one priority, but my God, you get that money thrown at you, and a school like Arkansas starts to look a little bit more attractive. Now, I don't know what their NIL budget is. I don't know what they're working with. I think the other thing, too, and this is something I have heard from parents, and this is something that I have talked with other folks that, follow recruiting and whatnot. One of the things that you also hear is it's program stability, which is interesting considering we're in the transfer portal era to hear something like that. But that is something where, they don't want their kid going to a school and that coach be on the hot seat. And Sam's is hot. It's hotter than hot. It feels like he's already got a foot out the door. It's that hot. And that's got to be a big part of it too. Yeah, NIL makes up a huge part of it for sure. I don't think they're working with a lot of NIL money. I think the other side of it too is just not having that program stability. And I think that's something that we don't talk enough about. Why would you commit to a school when your recruitment may be open before the end of October because you're the guy that you're committed to has just been fired from his job? I don't know if, sure, 10, 15 million more dollars. Yeah, of course that would have an impact. You'd be crazy not to think otherwise, even at Arkansas. But I don't know that, again, it's like, this is why keeping Sam Pittman, these are the consequences of keeping him. 110%. It's going to have an impact. recruits, family members, people start to lose trust within that system. If that system isn't producing pro prospects, they don't think, listen, everyone thinks their kid belongs in the NFL, and kids that are getting recruited by schools like Arkansas or SEC schools believe they have the potential to play in the league. Arkansas's not churning and burning NFL players. I mean, they're just not. Look at the difference. It's apples and oranges, but Arkansas basketball is churning out NBA prospects, and they're going to continue to do so. Football, and you see that upwards trajectory. Now, again, that's apples and oranges. It's not fair to do that to football. Look at some of these other programs. Ole Miss starting to become an NFL factory. We know they're messing around with some legit NIL money. Or at least that's what people out of Oxford are saying, and it certainly appears to be the truth, especially when you look at their their transfer class and how well they're doing in recruiting. But you see the differences between an Ole Miss hire or Lane Kiffin Ole Miss hire and the Sam Pittman Arkansas hire. You're seeing the difference. 4 years later, they're on an upwards trajectory. Arkansas may not have a head coach by the end of the regular season. And that has an impact on recruiting. It just does. The Okie Light game will decide how the season unfolds. I agree with that to an extent, but probably. Yeah, I think so, because you're going to – listen, 70% of your schedule is – those are tougher games than Oklahoma State. Again, I don't think if you put Oklahoma State with Arkansas's schedule, I think that's an 8-4 Oklahoma State football team, which is still, by the way, a pretty damn good football team. You could argue that the Auburn game might be the game that tells us more. College Station on a quote-unquote, let's be real, neutral field, my ass, versus Texas A&M, which will be an earlier game. It's not going to be a night evening game, not that really matters. You got Tennessee coming to town, LSU the following after you got your bye week, and then LSU. You can argue that Oklahoma State, well, it's at least going to tell you a lot. I agree with that. It's going to tell you a lot about this Arkansas football team. I don't know that it makes or breaks Sam. I feel like it could be I think a way of looking at it, hear me out, it might be the edge. It could be the crucible or the catalyst, rather. Like it's the beginning. If you get blown out, that might tell you everything you need to know. If you get blown out in Stillwater, Oklahoma, it could. I don't know. At Auburn could tell you a lot too. Fortunately, you have UAB. Imagine if the schedule went out like this, though. Imagine if you had Oklahoma State to open your season with. And then, of course, you're going to always have a couple early other non-conference games, and then you went into your SEC schedule. But you started off with Oklahoma State. Or if Oklahoma State was the game before Auburn, maybe that's a better way of looking at it. You'd have UAB, and then you had Oklahoma State the week before you go to Auburn, and then 2 weeks before you play A&M down in College Station. You'd be looking at another losing streak, right? Anything could happen. Hell, you might – I'm not going to say you're going to lose the UAB, but nothing would shock me anymore. Nothing surprises me anymore with college athletics. Nothing. Something crazy happening like Petrino coming back. That's still – and then getting Cal, from Kentucky, a Hall of Fame coach to come coach your basketball team. No, never say never. But Oklahoma State it's like the beginning of it all. And it could start there. If you get blown out, oh, yeah. If it's a close loss, it probably just tells you you're going to be a pretty competitive team. We saw them lose some games early last season. You can look at last season and go, well, damn, they were so close with some of these really good matchups. They were really close to beating some of these teams. And look how it ended up, right? Mississippi State, you lose that game 7-3. You get blown out against Missouri on the road. Who knows? But this schedule is not easy. I'm surprised. The more I hear about it from like the national, the media types, they're not putting this schedule as like one of the top 3 toughest in the SEC. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong people. I feel like this is one of the toughest schedules in the SEC. Having only really glanced at the other SEC matchups or SEC schedules, this one's tough though, man. I mean, having to go to Stillwater, who's going to be ranked. You're at Auburn. A&M in College Station, or not College Station, I'm sorry. If I said that earlier, I apologize. In Arlington, rather. Tennessee and Fayetteville, LSU and Fayetteville, Ole Miss, Texas, and Missouri all still on your schedule. My God, that is so many potential ranked opponents. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be tough, man. And that's why people believe that this is going to be it's going to be difficult to see Sam survive this. This is why, because it's a combination of what's happening with what we've seen the last 2 years, especially last year, with how it unfolded, and then the schedule strength of this year. It's just crazy. Greg Roberts says, you know a lot more than the guys at Woo Pig. Don't take shots at my boys. Come on now. Don't do that. I'm sensing who you going to get. Season is coming sooner than later. Yeah, we don't tolerate Woo Pig hate. Come on now. Hog Wild Pod says, yeah, bro, that's a good point. That Auburn game will say a lot, especially because Hugh Freeze is only in his second year. Yeah, and he's had some success against Sam. Greg taking shots. Yeah, we don't tolerate that. The Woo Pig. Anybody. I don't care who it is. We just don't do that. We don't take cheap shots here. But I do appreciate the compliment, but not at the expense of someone else. Do you think Pittman finishes out the year? Well, my unofficial, well, it's not unofficial, I guess, if I said it. When I did that pod last Friday with Don't Read the Comments pod with those guys, with Tim Neal and Travis Ford, I said 5-7. And so, you know, I did that in my head with the assumption that Sam was still going to be the guy, right? But that has Arkansas going into Auburn at 2-1 and then losing the Auburn game. And then if you're going on a losing streak from that point on at Auburn, God, I don't know. Here we go again. I didn't want to talk about I've got an idea for a video I want to do for a schedule, like an actual real breakdown and what could happen. But, guys, if you get blown out against Oklahoma State in Stillwater, and then you go to Auburn on September 21st, and you lose that game, and then you can't get past A&M, and you're probably going to get blown out against Tennessee, and then you got LSU. And even if you don't get blown out against Tennessee, which is, you know, who knows, early on in the year. I mean, Arkansas has been tougher to beat earlier in the season for the most part since Sam's been here. But if you lose, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly a 4-game losing streak going into Starkville. Maybe the game we should circle, realistically, is Starkville, October 26th. Maybe that's the game we should, because we know what happened last year, losing 7-3 to this team. And I get it. New team, new year, new offense coordinator. Mississippi State's got some things going on. They've got some change. I'm just saying, because then that puts you at possibly a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-game losing streak, getting ready to play and host a possible playoff contender in Ole Miss on November 2nd. And then Texas a little while later. You got a bye week after Ole Miss. I'm just saying that might be the week. That might be the game, October 26th, that we need to talk about, that we need to circle. Do you start to lose your patience? There's also the other argument, which is that financially it would make sense to let Sam finish out the year, and I've heard that argument too, assuming the buyout. I don't know what his buyout looks like in December. I don't know if it drops or not. I've actually not looked that up to confirm. If that's the case, if that is the case, that his buyout drops again in December, then yeah, they probably will wait until December to make any changes. But maybe not. Fans can only take so much. Hunter Yurchek is already taking a lot of heat for keeping Sam. Again, if you're going on a 4-game losing streak heading into Starkville on October 26th, and you lose that game with Ole Miss and Texas coming up, yeah, I don't know. All right, again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Bobby Petrino, retired Dan. Let's see, Bobby Petrino, retired Dan Marino, and Arkansas owned Jimmy Johnson the same game. I love the Woo Pig guys. They're great entertainment. Okay, well, I want to see Ty on the Woo Pig. I've been on the Woo Pig. I've been on there two or three times. All right, that is going to do it. I appreciate you all. Again, on your way out, make sure you like the stream, share, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be back next week. Again, we're kind of at that 2 shows a week. I'm trying to get some edited content out to you guys. It's been a bit of a struggle with the kids being home, but I'm going to try and get you guys some in between edited content. Hopefully, starting next week, I can get something to you. But yeah, I do appreciate you. Patreon supporters, you guys help keep this ship afloat. And, of course, to our wonderful sponsors, I appreciate all you guys, Direct Service Overhead and Insurance Max. I will see you guys next week. Behave. Have a good weekend.